Hello friends and welcome back to my channel. My name's Cinderellimouse and I'm here today with early access to The Sims 4 Businesses and Hobbies expansion pack, courtesy of the EA Creator Network, so thank you so much to them. I do have the full version of the game now, which means I've got all the expansion packs installed. So currently I'm in Tartosa. Now, the aim of today's video is actually to explain to answer a question. So in my cross-compatibility video, I said, do you have any more questions? Is there anything I've missed? And one question kept on popping up in the comments that said, can I run a mall with this system? So I thought, do you know what, I'll try and test this and kind of see how this goes. So the system is designed to have a small business. You start out at home, maybe you have an extra room that you're renting out, maybe you're selling a bit of pottery on the side, or you're doing piano lessons, something like this, and then you kind of expand to having a small business venue, and you can expand your business that way. One good thing about it is that even though you can only own one small business per person, you can actually open it on multiple lots. So if you want kind of like a chain of small businesses, you can do that, but they're all going to function in the same way. Now, because small businesses are tied to the individual, if you have 8 family members in your household, each of those 8 family members can open a small business. So can we open a mall? Well, also please excuse this build. It's not the best build ever. It's just for testing purposes. So I know it doesn't look good. So basically, technically, yes, I could build, currently I've got 7 people in this household. I could build 7 different stores and have 7 different businesses. However, if you're intending to visit the mall and visit these businesses, there's a different way that I recommend setting it up. Now, I can only really get 4 stores functioning at a time, but if you're quite clever, you could maybe work around this. So if I kind of show you this system, so rather than having like 4 individuals running 4 different businesses, I recommend using employees. Now, looking at employee tasks, so I can actually hire 3 people, which gives me a total of 4 employees, including myself. And if I go to this button here, manage employee tasks, I can actually set tasks for people. So you can see here, Eliza Pancakes, her job, and so this is technically 4 business owners running 4 different shops, but as employees. So all 4 of these businesses would be open at once. So this is the way that I recommend doing it. It's hard to explain. I hope I'm making sense. So here, my employee Eliza Pancakes, I've got her tending the bubble tea counter. So this is my first little shop here, and it's kind of like a little sweet treats shop, if you excuse the pun. One thing to note as well, I really love these signs. So they're really customizable. So this little ice cream symbol, I think is actually from Cats and Dogs. Yeah, this is from Cats and Dogs. So you can kind of use multiple packs and kind of play around with this, and it works really, really well. So all these little stickers will all work on here. So for example, if I want that little like coffee sticker, that will go on there. And they can also go on windows and things as well. So you can really kind of like brand your business using these little signs from Businesses and Hobbies. So over here, this little kind of stick-on decal, this is from Businesses and Hobbies. But this one, I think, is from Dine Out, if I remember correctly. Yeah, this is from Dine Out. And then you can see in here as well where I've used like the little music symbols. So you can use these in really like unique ways, and it's pretty cool. Yeah, so going back over here to sweet treats, you can see that I've got the bubble tea counter. Now Eliza will come and tend this. And so if I visit the lot as a customer, Eliza will be tending this and I can buy things from it. I've also got this little retail stand here. Now the good thing about the retail stand is that you can enable and disable sales at any one point. So if I'm on the lot as the employer and I'm filling up this stand, I can disable sales while I fill it up, and then when I visit as a customer, I can enable sales and actually buy the products that are on here. I think you have to enable it as the business owner, not the customer, just to kind of explain that you have to do it beforehand. But yeah, like if you want to have, so if your aim is to do a mall with like lots of shopping, like have a lot of these display cases and fill them up with stuff, and then when you visit them you can actually come and buy stuff off the display cases. So you could have like I've done here, like a little ice cream shop, or you could have like a little plant shop with plants in. And so you could technically, even if you didn't have like even if you only had one business, you could have lots of different units selling lots of different things, and they don't need a sim to be able to like work as a shop. So yeah, that's one way of doing it. And so yeah, I can like come and buy these things. Now in the back here, this is set to employees only. I've got the little ice cream maker in here. I've got the waffle iron. I've got the candy maker, and I can also make like cupcakes and things like that. So I can stock all different kinds of sweet treats. I've also got the little chocolates from Love Struck in there as well. So whatever you want to put in there, you really can do. So yeah, that actually functions really, really super well. And that's just one employee running that basically running that shop. So we could even have Eliza. She can't restock. One thing is, this is not designed to be an in-depth retail system. So this isn't the same as the retail system from Get to Work, where you have things like restocking and things like that. It's not functional in the same way. It really does depend on you putting items in here. Like there's no automatic restock button. So once things sell out, they're sold out, right? So, but I could technically, if I wanted to have Cinderella specifically come in here and do baking and, you know, making the sweet treats. Where are we? Make treats. I could do that. And then she's going to be the employee in the back, kind of like making the products. So actually, yeah, do you know what? I'm going to leave that on, and we can see how that functions. Make treats. And is there anything else there as well? No, that's all good. So we'll leave that. There are a lot of things. This is one thing that I forgot to show you actually in the previous cross expansion video, but employee tasks, they're different to the customer tasks. And honestly, there's so many great options. If you are planning on setting up a small business, I do recommend looking through here and planning before you build the lot, because there might be things in here that you're expecting that aren't there. Not everything is in there. So for example, I really wanted a yoga instructor, and so you can have a yoga business and it does function, but it doesn't function the way that you might be expecting it to function. So again, just kind of look through here, and it's going to take a bit of trial and error to figure out how things work, because not everything works in the way that you're expecting it to work, but it does work, if that makes any sense. But yeah, you can kind of see through here all the different options that you have as employee tasks. So give massages is in there, all this different stuff, care for pets, tend the garden, different social things, and basic things like clean, fix objects, and scrap crafts, which is going to be really useful if you've seen the pottery and how that functions. So yeah, there's a lot of things in there, but some things you have to kind of work around. Like not everything is implemented the same way. So going off that, no, don't lose changes, go and confirm. That is one business that you can set up. And like I say, it only actually takes one employee to run the counter. And I love that as well, because I've been making small businesses in my game since we first got the base game. And there's never been a way to have like a functional little bar or coffee counter or anything like that, or maybe like the canteen from Discovery University as well. I haven't tried that yet. Without, like, there's been no good way of doing it without having to hire somebody. But when you hire them, it like costs money. It's like 250 simoleons or something like that. And so there's been no good way of setting that up. I actually had some mods. I don't know if any of you remember, I had like be able to hire people for free mods. So yeah, this is something that I've wanted for a long time. So to be able to set it up like this and just set an employee to like tend that is like revolutionary to me. I'm really excited for that feature. Going across then, I have a little tattoo parlor. She hasn't really done much. She hasn't actually got any tattoo skill. I've currently got Elphaba. But again, I'm just demonstrating what you can set up here. So I would have her kind of like doing a little tattoo things and putting them up on the walls here. This is kind of like the waiting room, and she has her little tattoo table back here. So again, if you were to visit this lot as a customer, you would be able to get bubble tea, you'd be able to shop off that board there, and you'd be able to come in here and get a tattoo off Elphaba. I don't really trust her. She is the mischief witch. But you know what? Sometimes you've got to take risks in life, and this is one of them. So if I show you manage employee tasks, her task is to tend the tattoo table. So yeah, that's two businesses that are functioning at the same time because I'm running them from one small business. Going across here then, this one actually works without an employee. So this is a little dress shop. So these are from, again, I've got all expansion packs installed, so don't assume that you can just buy the pack and everything's going to be in it. This is all all expansion packs. So depending on what you have will depend on what you can create. But over here I've got, these are the bubble, not what they called, high school years trendy stands where you can create the fashion looks and then like sell them on Trendy. So you can come over here, you can like try things on. There's these mannequins where you can come over and try things on. Excuse the costumes, I randomized these, so they are not the best. Again, if I was running this as an actual shop in my own game, I would put custom outfits on those. But customers, you can see like over here, customers will actually come in. Is he fabulous? The perfect customer to be in this shop. And they will actually browse and they will try on items because I've told them to. So if I go on my small business settings, you can see here, try on outfits. So and also browse and buy out items. Oh, sorry, I get excited and I can't talk. So like the customers will be doing those expected tasks. This will feel like a functional shop when you visit it because Sims will come in here and do the things that you're expecting them to do. So I could also use those like wardrobes from Get Together if I wanted to here, but I've created these like little dressing rooms just because I thought they look pretty. My last business that I've got over here, now I'm not entirely happy with this one. I was just kind of trying out different things and showing variety. So what I've got in here, oh, one thing I forgot to mention, this little sales table from Get to Work functions the same way. I can enable or disable sales. So again, if you wanted to create a jewelry shop and you don't necessarily need an employee to man it, you could just make a load of jewelry, set it out on these little stands and have a functional jewelry shop. And it doesn't matter if there's an employee attending it or not. Like, you as a customer can come in and you can just buy things. So like I say, I have currently disabled sales, but that's just so people didn't buy the things that I was using to demonstrate stuff, basically. But yeah, in my music shop, so this is basically meant to be like a little recording studio. I could use the ticket machine for this, but I didn't really want to use the ticket system. Sims are just coming in and kind of like mixing their records, which you can see over here. Produce new track is one of the things that I've told customers to do. And my employee here is actually, what's her name? Vanessa Young. Again, I could pick better Sims for this. She doesn't particularly have any DJ skills, but her task is to DJ and to clean. So she's coming over here and kind of like setting the music for the shop. So the idea of this, it would be that if I was to come in here as a customer, I could produce tracks and sell my CDs on here. I could like drag my CDs over and then sell them to other Sims like on these shelves. So yeah, just different ideas for you of like the different kinds of businesses that you can set up. So that is kind of how that's going. So you can see in here the customers are doing their little businesses. I don't know what Eliza's doing on here. Make your bubble tea, Eliza. She does wander off a lot, I've found. You can see in here people are like trying on the outfits, which is what I've told them to do. In here now, I haven't noticed Elphaba getting many customers, but I think it's because she doesn't actually have any tattoo skill. But I could come over here and request a tattoo off her if I wanted to kind of like get her skill level up. Oh, here we go, Eliza's back. So she's hanging out over here, tending the bubble tea stand, and I absolutely adore this. And then customers will come and they'll get food and they'll sit down and have the drinks and things like that. Elphaba's popping in to help as well. So you can see, actually, to be fair, employees do wander all over the lot. There's no way to assign individual units. So it's not like For Rent where you're like Unit 1, Apartment 2, Apartment 3, Apartment 4. In this pack, basically you just have public spaces, employees only spaces, and then private spaces. So I could technically make that a private space and stop other people wandering in, but basically the whole lot is public. So your employees are not going to stay in the necessary shop. They are going to wander around a little bit, but they do kind of gravitate back to where they should be, and it does function. So one thing that I kind of want to show you now is what happens if I visit this as a customer, because these kind of lots I think are more designed to be visited rather than ran and owned, but there is a little bit of setting up that you need to do depending on which business you're running. Another question I got was, can I set up a small business without having a Sim own the business? The answer is no, because all the settings for what customers do, all the activities are tied to the Sim that owns the business. So basically it would just be a generic lot. People wouldn't do anything on it. So if you don't want to run the business yourself, I recommend just getting a random Sim that you don't really care about, setting up a business the way that you want it, and then you don't have to play with that Sim again. Like, you can go back to your original Sims and play with them. So yeah, there's loads of different businesses that you can set up. Like I said, you could have a jewelry shop because you don't even need somebody like on the tills or anything like that, because Sims can buy things directly from the surfaces. So yeah, this could be a jewelry shop. You could have like a flower shop. You could have pretty much any kind of shop that you want, because you can sell like any item that can fit on these surfaces, and a lot of items can be sold. So if I just go to Christopher a second and I go to the inventory, like these flowers will go on here. They look beautiful on there. They look really, really good. You could have a toy shop, like whatever you want basically. So yeah, if you're asking, can I set up a mall with all different types of shops? Absolutely, yes you can. But I recommend thinking in terms of one business owner and a limited number of employees. So you've only got 4 employees basically. So how many of these stands do you want? How, like, do you want to offer any services? What works without employees? A yoga studio will also work. Let me actually just set that up out the back, just so you can see kind of what's going on with a yoga studio, because I want to be honest about what you can and can't do. And how to go about doing things. So the first thing that I tried on the previous lot that I had to move because the weather was really bad. There was like thunderstorms in Magnolia Promenade where I set up my first business, and like all the customers were running around screaming, and like all my employees were wet and miserable. So I was like, do you know what? I'm moving to Tarto, so I'm going somewhere sunny. So attempt 2. So yeah, you can set up a yoga studio. So I'm using the instructor mat over here. Now there are already some small business features on spa day items because they kind of did that for the update. But like, just to kind of show you, if I did want to do yoga, I can't actually set that as an employee task. There's nothing for yoga here. So I was kind of like, well, how do I do that? You can give massages, but you can't do yoga or lead meditation. So the way this works is basically you request a yoga teacher when you get to the lot, and it's free to request the yoga teacher. Gosh, it's really hard to explain. Okay, I'm going to switch households and we're going to visit this as a customer. The thing that I have to do though first is enable sales on everything. Let me close the business and then I'm going to enable sales. There's nothing in those to buy currently. Enable sales. There we go. Oh, look at them having a hug. Oh, and these are the Sims from my Raising Them Right series. If you want to go and check that out, this is Don Lothario. Cinderella raised him from an infant to be more respectful to the people he's dating. Right, I'll be back in a second. Okay, so I've got Bob and Eliza here. You see what I mean about the weather? I think it's time to go somewhere a bit warmer, guys. Get away from this horrible thunderstorm. So I'm going to go ahead and travel, and I'll show you kind of how to travel to a small business as a customer. So it's basically the same as traveling to any other venue. The thing is, if it's a small business run from a household, let me just kind of show you this. If it's kind of like a household and a small business 2 in 1, when you try to, is this actually, yeah, small business residential. If I confirm, it asks you if you want to visit the household, like as a guest, a friend of the household, or if you want to like visit the business. So that's really cool. So again, if there was 8 businesses would show up here, and that's how you get the functionality of the lot that you're visiting. So again, this is why I kind of like to do it this way, where you have a small business venue and then one small business on it with the 4 employee tasks, because I think it's just slightly more functional, because not every business will be running at any one time if you own it with multiple Sims. I hope I'm making sense. It's kind of hard to explain, which is why I'm doing a video on it, because I felt like I was in tongue twisters in the comments. But here we go. So there's 2 Elizas. So this is normal Eliza, and then this is Eliza that I kind of raised right. So normal Eliza, employee Eliza, is off to do her job and tend the bubble tea counter. So I'm going to have this Eliza come over. Oh no, she's not doing it. She's wandered off. I don't know why. Oh, she's just clapping her father for some reason. Can you possibly tend the bubble tea counter? I would love to buy something. So while she's like deciding what she's doing, let's go over and have her buy these. So buy items. So like I say, you can set up a shop and you don't actually need an employee running the shop. You can just buy what you want. So here she is, and she's tending this thing. So Bob, get over here and order a drink. Order chocolate milk bubble tea with cheese foam. That sounds like a very Bob drink to me. And here's Eliza buying those chocolates. So she's going to get to share those with Bob now. And you can see back here, the employees are doing what I asked them to do. So Cinderella is making more things, more products, and Vanessa is cleaning. You don't really need an employee to be making things like when you visit. You know, maybe you'd want to have like some other kind of service that would be run by that other employee, but again, just trying to get you the vibe of it. So over here, I can go over here and I can request a tattoo. It is going to cost me money, as you would expect. And yeah, that is functioning there. Over here, I can come in here and I can snap up that jewelry before this person buys it. Come and buy it. Buy item. Quick, 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 before she gets it. So Sims do buy things. Oh no, she bought it. Sims do buy things pretty quick, the other customers, just to make you aware of that. So, you know, if you've got something precious that you want for a specific Sim, I'm just warning you that it might get swept out from underneath you. So coming over here, I can create fashion looks like I would be able to in a bubble tea store. And going over here, I can... Oh, I can't click on the mannequins. Yes, I can. It's because it's the masculine mannequin. Silly Cinderella. I can come over here. I can try on the outfit. I can purchase the outfit. This would be really great with nifty knitting if you want to like knit your own clothes and sell them in the store. I kind of want to do that myself. And then coming over here, so I can come over here. I can listen to the music that Vanessa Young should be playing. If there were CDs here, I could come and buy those, or I can come in here and produce my own music as well. So yeah, lots of different things. Like I say, jewelry store would be easy to set up, flower store would be easy to set up. So can I make them all? Absolutely yes. You just have to be quite clever with what your employees are doing. And again, I recommend owning it with one Sim and setting up 4 different like employee owned stores using the employee system rather than trying to own it with 4 different Sims. I think it functions better that way because then everything's active when you visit it. So explaining yoga then. So if you come over here, even though I can't set an employee specifically to do it, if I click on the yoga instructor mat, I can actually request a yoga teacher. It doesn't cost me any money to request the yoga instructor. So even though this isn't an employee, it's a random NPC Sim, a yoga instructor will show up. And at no cost to me. The cost to me comes when I do a class, basically. So I'm just waiting for her to kind of like come over. Normally it's a little bit quicker. I feel like she's coming from quite far away. Yes, she can like fitness. You can just come in and do yoga on them as well. So here you go. Here's the yoga teacher. So when they show up, you can click on them and you can ask them to start a yoga class. And that's when you pay as a customer. So yes, you can set up so many different things. Another thing that you could possibly set up if you were doing a mall would be a cinema. So you could come over here and you could have, sorry. I don't know. We're doing it this way apparently. So you could come over here and do a cinema because you could have, where are we? Like watch live entertainment. No, that's not the one I wanted. Is that like watch TV? Yes, watch TV. So you can get like a big screen TV. And then there's also like eat popcorn. So you could put like sales tables out with popcorn all over it, and like your Sims could go and buy the popcorn. You could have a bubble tea counter or a bar. So yeah, there's lots of different things you could do. Coffee shop if you want like a little. You could do a bookstore if you want to do a bookstore. So can you open a mall? 100% yes, absolutely. I just think it's better to have. Look here, like she's tattooing someone. Yay, finally, her first customer. So yeah, it does function really, really well. So it's only really limited to your imagination and your patience and your creativity. Because like I say, you can have functional stores in a way that you could not have them before, because I think before you were limited to it being specifically a retail venue or specifically a restaurant or specifically, you know, a cafe or whatever it was, you know, depending on the venue type. It's basically having highly customizable venues where you select the activities. So again, if you want to do this yourselves, think about each unit as an individual thing. So in the way that I would do it, you're limited to 4 total employees. So where do you want those 4 employees to go? Where can you make a business that doesn't need an employee? So anything where you're selling something, like your clothing stores, jewelry stores, flower shops, all of those will function without an employee attached. You just have to go in and restock them from time to time. What do you think of employees as like services? So where do you want to run a service? So like any kind of counter is going to need an employee. The tattoo table, things like that is where those employees are going to hang out. Even just maintenance, even just having someone who goes around and fixes things and cleans up. You know, you could do so much just with those things. So I hope this is helpful to you. Again, I wouldn't recommend owning a small business, like a unit per sim, because only one will function at any one time. The one sim with 4 employees route is the better way to do it. I talk too much, I know I do, but hopefully I've answered a few questions. Hopefully this is kind of helped you understand the pack better and kind of the limitations and the possibilities, because I wanted to get this video out before the pack went live so that you guys can make informed choices. And that is pretty much it. One other thing as well, I did mention that you can run schools, and somebody was debating whether or not you could run a high school. The answer is yes, and so you'll see that in my Raising them Right series. Cinderella is running a functional working high school, and it works brilliantly actually. So watch, keep an eye open for my next Raising them Right video, and you'll be able to see my working high school in that. Okay, take care guys, bye.